views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Mission BX, the show that explores the wonderful work being done by nonprofits here in the Bronx. Today we're visiting with Grace Outreach, only we're not in Grace Outreach's office. Instead, thanks to Roberto Marucci, we're here at CrossFit SoBro, which is a wonderful place, and we're learning about a unique fundraising idea that Grace Outreach has been using for a number of years. So this is going to be a really fun show, and thanks for watching. Start. Press. Rack. Good. So, Danae, can you tell us about Grace Outreach, and thank you for getting us involved in all of this. This has been a great morning.
Of course, thank you. Grace Outreach is a women's nonprofit in the South Bronx, and we work with women to get their high school equivalency degrees, go to college, and get jobs. So our goal is to put women in the borough and around New York on the path to a financially sustainable future in New York.
So that seems pretty clear, but now we're in this gym.
Right.
And how does that, in this box, because that's what you call it if it's CrossFit, I just learned that.
That's right.
So how does that match?
Well, it's the bringing together of a few different worlds of my own. I've been a CrossFitter and a weightlifter for years, about 6 years now. And in Brooklyn, I work out at CrossFit South Brooklyn, and Margie Lempert was a friend. So about 3.5 years ago, she told me that the women's weightlifting event that she had been putting on for years in different forms throughout the years, she wanted to add a fundraising component to the event. And at the time, I was running the college program at Grace Outreach, and I was working with a lot of women who were getting ready to go to college, excited about college, but then they didn't have financial aid to attend college because they were DACA, undocumented, or had lost their financial aid through predatory for-profit colleges. So I was trying to find ways to fundraise for this particular need of the women at Grace Outreach. And it was just serendipitous. Margie started talking to me about wanting to raise money. I knew that I wanted to raise money for this thing, and then started presenting this idea along with a few other things to her, so it didn't seem that I was only trying to push my own cause. And then we just put together this idea for a scholarship that would send undocumented women to college.
So, and now we enter CK. So
Yes.
how did you get involved with this great idea?
I was actually playing for a soccer team called South Bronx United, and they knew that I wanted to go to college. So they directed me to Grace Outreach. But then when I got there, it was like, I told them my situation and everything, and they were like, don't worry, because we can get you there, right? So then I was doing the college prep program, and it was a very good program. It was a very good program. And if I hadn't done that program, I wouldn't even pass the college entrance exam. So I'm really glad that I did the program, so yeah.
And you got a scholarship.
Yes, I did. I was surprised that I got it, but I'm really happy that I got it, because without the scholarship, I wouldn't be able to go to school. So the scholarship was so they knew that I was undocumented, right? So they had the scholarship. So they offered me the scholarship, and they paid a portion of my tuition, which was the most of my tuition. I only had to find a little difference, which was kind of relieving for me and my mom, because we didn't have it like that. We came here, our situation was crazy. So yeah, that's
a great story. So where are you going to college?
Oh, I graduated from Borough Manhattan Community College, BMCC, with
Right.
associates in business management. Now I'm going to Lehman, and I'm doing a bachelor's in business admin.
Good for you. That's great. That is such a wonderful success story for Grace Outreach.
And TK was the first woman to graduate with her associate's degree. So far, we've graduated 3 women with associate's degrees, and all of them are in 4-year colleges. And we started off paying 70% of their tuition, and then realized that still left a little bit too much of a burden, so now we pay 80% of their tuition.
That is amazing. And so are there women who are at Grace Outreach who are also competing
Yes.
in the event?
Including myself. So we thought it was important that Grace Outreach had a buy-in, not only in terms of the fundraiser and doing that kind of work, but in competing. And as you'll hear from Margie, the Iron Maidens Open is not restricted to professional weightlifters. Women of all types compete. So the first year I offered 4 spaces to Grace Outreach lifters, and we started training together. So Bintu, one of our former college program students, now teachers, has competed. Darian has competed. Nicola. Now I'm training with Steph and our science teacher Peggy. And it's ended up being just also a really good team building exercise. So we meet on Saturdays or Sundays as a staff and group of students. We lift and we get to know each other in this kind of strength way.
This is somehow the perfect thing to be doing right now. I can't think of anything better than training, helping women get an education and training them to be strong.
Well, that is the overlap that we thought made the most sense for the Iron Maidens Open. When Margie and I talked about the scholarship, we saw a lot of connecting links between the fact that the women who compete in the competition are training their strength, but there's also a very similar undercurrent of strength to women who are just trying to make their way to college and to try to afford to pay for it.
Right.
And so, you know, we've raised at this point $65,000 in the last 2 years. Our goal this year is to raise $40,000, and that is a combined effort of all of the lifters using CrowdRise and asking their friends.
That was my question. Yeah, how does that work?
We use CrowdRise, and all of our lifters participate in raising money, and they reach out to their networks and say, "I'm raising money to send women to college," and there's just been a really resounding agreement that this is an important cause to donate to.
So you have not only this event going on, but you also have your gala coming up
Next week.
And
That's
so,
right.
So there's a lot. So it's been great to have you. It's been really fun to plan this, and
Yes.
it's been great to have everybody here. And I didn't realize that you were raising that kind of money.
So if we succeed in our goal this year, we will have raised over $100,000 for undocumented women in the last 3 years. And everybody's invited to come out. The day of the meet is really fun. So we have 60 lifters competing. It's all day. We give prizes to the women who raise the most in their weight class, or who lift the most in their weight class, and then the women who raise the most. And the prizes come from women-owned businesses. And then women-owned businesses serve treats. Cafe Grumpy is one of our big supporters throughout the day. They serve coffee. So it's a really fun day. I hope you'll come.
How could I not come now? I mean, who knows? By next year,
You'll be lifting.
Maybe I'll be lifting. So thank you. This has really been wonderful.
Yeah, for all of us, it's been wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
From the north to the south to the west to the east, we are expanding our services and upgrading technology at Lehman College. And now, Bronxites have an innovative media production facility in the East Bronx at Mercy College in the Hutch Metro Center. The windows on the East Bronx studio, a state-of-the-art control room, media labs for production and training, and other media-capable spaces. Training, workforce development, leading-edge technology, and programs that help you share your ideas, your voice, on your channels, locally and globally. Build media and technology skills at BronxNet and build your dreams.
I got a crick in my neck, limp in my step, cramping in my muscles every time I try to flex. But I was scared of. But if you throw me love, I'll throw you some more.
So most important is that when she squats down at the bottom of the squat, the crease of her hips is below the top of her knee. That's kind of the most important aspect of performing the squat in a competition setting. And then other than that, she has these commands that she's following from the judges, which I think we filmed earlier. So Francine, you want to set up? So she's going to go ahead and set up with the bar on her back as she is comfortable. Unrack the bar, walk it out. She'd wait for a command from the judge, in this case it's start, and then she'll go ahead and squat, and you can watch that her hips go well below the top of her knee. Start. Good. And then she'll wait for a rack command, rack, to bring the bar back in. From my eyes, that would be a successful lift. She would get a white light from me. What Francine's doing right now is a competition bench press where she's relying on the judge to give her commands through the movement. So on her own time, she's going to unrack the bar, and she's going to wait for me to give a start command. Once I give her the start command, she's going to bring the bar to her chest. Right now in this position, I'm making sure that her shoulders, her butt, and her feet are connected to the bench and the floor. All right, Francine, start. Press. Rack. So she has to wait for the judge, the head judge in a competition, to give all of those commands in order to perform the lift, which makes it a slightly more difficult lift than if you were just training a bench press in the gym. Good, okay. So Bintu just performed a deadlift, which is the third lift that's contested in Iron Maidens or in a powerlifting meet. And she's trying to pick up as much weight as she can off the floor. So when she sets up, go ahead and set up. She sets herself up, and she is just gonna simply pick the bar up off the floor. So go ahead and do that, Bintu. And the judges are looking for her to finish standing up straight, just as she is. Her hips are open, her knees are straight, and the bar is just hanging from her arms. And then she'll get a down command, down, and she places the bar back down on the floor. We don't want her to drop the bar from the hips, otherwise it would be considered a mislift. So it's a very simple lift, but it's probably the lift that you move the most weight with. It's the hardest in terms of total poundage. So it's the last lift that's contested in a powerlifting meet.
Well, I got this as a paid internship. Spending my time here, I really enjoyed the people that work here. I enjoy what goes on behind the scenes.
So far, I've learned how to operate a camera, how to host. I learned how to control audio.
My first time hosting was really nerve-wracking, but I really enjoyed it because it was a new experience.
Chiru has no choice. She and millions like her must walk miles every day for dirty water. But together, we can end their walk by providing clean water close by. Instead of spending hours walking to get water that makes them sick, girls can be in a classroom that expands their minds, and moms will gain back time to care for their families. Sons and daughters can grow up strong, finally free of sicknesses caused by dirty water. At World Vision, care about clean water runs deep. Deep enough to reach one new person with clean water every 10 seconds. Because every child, every person, everywhere deserves clean water and the chance to rise to their full potential. It's true. When you just add water, you change a life. Learn more at worldvision.org.
Thank you for doing this. This is very exciting to see. We haven't been in an environment like this. I love this. So maybe let's start with you, because
Sure.
I know that you are the director of the meet. So can you tell us what this is all about?
Yeah, sure. So this is a competition called Iron Maiden's Raw Open, which is a powerlifting meet for women only, which there are very few of. I mean, I don't know of any really in the Northeast where it's entirely women who are competing. Usually they're mixed, men and women. And so Iron Maiden's Raw Open, this is the 4th year that we've been running this event. Although in previous years we kind of did smaller versions of it just for a small community. And then 4 years ago, I kind of relaunched and re-envisioned the event to make it a bigger event and open to all kinds of, and really women from anywhere. So since then it's kind of grown, and we have women this year coming from as far away as Colorado. In the past we've had Canadians come and Californians come, and then most women are from the Northeast and from the 5 boroughs.
How many do you get?
We have 60 competitors that we cap it at. Otherwise it would be too long of a day.
Right.
As it is, it's a really long day. So so we have 60 competitors and that are contesting 3 lifts. There's the back squat, the bench press, and the deadlift, which are the 3 lifts that they're contesting.
Okay. And how did you get involved in it? Because you had we were talking before, and you had a whole other life.
Yeah. I had a whole life
from
kind of in the arts. I worked in the nonprofit arts for a long time. And then I came to lifting through CrossFit. I kind of got involved with CrossFit about 10, 12 years ago, and then gradually kind of gravitated towards barbell training and powerlifting specifically, and started training that myself and training others. And through training the barbell for myself and kind of it bringing a sort of big identity shift for me in terms of finding strength in myself that I didn't know was there, and seeing myself differently than I ever had before, particularly as somebody who was mostly in the arts and not super athletic. And it really shifted my sense of self. And so I started working more and more with other women because I felt like it was a particularly powerful tool for women who aren't normally exposed to barbell training. Like most men at some point, bench press
Probably,
or something
right,
like that.
right.
So I started training women specifically, and then from that grew this competition.
And I just have to ask you about your mother.
Oh yeah. Yeah, my mom has participated.
My new role model,
yeah, right.
who I don't know.
My mom has started participating in Iron Maidens. She's 72, and she had never lifted before. I mean, she's an active person, but she had never used barbells before. This is the third year that she's doing Iron Maidens, and she kind of decided to do it, as much to just be a part of something that her daughter is doing,
which is great.
But over the course of training for it, has really improved like her range of motion. Her, she can move in ways that she couldn't before, and it's really, I think, help to strengthen her, obviously, mostly for everyday activities like getting up out of a chair. She's able to do all of that much more easily, which as a 72-year-old becomes increasingly important.
Yeah.
And she has a lot of fun doing it. She gets very nervous, but she has a lot of fun doing it.
But it feels like a real community. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why it's also great to talk to the three of you. And you came all the way from Brooklyn here. So you use a gym in Brooklyn, but you're from the Bronx?
So I grew up in the Bronx. I am a Brooklynite now, but you never forget your roots.
Right.
I am a member of CrossFit South Brooklyn, which is where the meet is held and kind of where we all sort of came up together lifting. And so this will be my first year participating in the Open.
Oh, so you haven't competed before?
No.
And how
Not
long?
as a powerlifter.
Not as a powerlifter.
She's competed in another barbell sport, Olympic lifting. Yeah.
So how long have you been powerlifting?
I guess it's been about 4 years since I started doing barbell training in general, and much like Margie, I found it through CrossFit, and just fell in love with it and love doing the lifts.
It's great. It was great to watch it. It was every time you would say bench or whatever it was, I would think, oh my God, she's going to drop it on herself. Because looking at it when you don't do it, it's scary.
Right.
And you, with the Team Massive, so you need to tell us what you deadlifted last time.
The last time I didn't train for it. I was just
lifting hundreds of pounds of things.
I did train for the meet, but I didn't train lifting 300 pounds. So last year I deadlifted 300 pounds.
I have to ask this. So I'm looking at you, and all of you, and I'm thinking, does that hurt when you do it, or it seems so seamless? So. Do you think on my back?
Ideally, it shouldn't hurt. No, if it hurts, there's a problem.
Okay, so you just decided that you were going to up your weight in the middle of the meet?
No, because Danae is my coach. So I was doing it, and she's like, I think you can deadlift 300 pounds. And I was like, I don't think I can do it. She said, yes, I think you can. And when I went out there, it's a different feeling. You have this adrenaline, and you have everybody else hyping you up, and you have everybody cheering you on. So when you go up there, you have additional power in addition to what you have.
Right.
So when they did my lift, put it down, it seems lighter than I thought.
So if I could just add, so all of the women who are competing, they have 3 chances to lift the most weight that they can in each of the lifts.
Okay.
So for the squat, they each have 3 attempts to just do 1 repetition of the most weight that they can squat, the most weight they can bench press, and the most weight that they can deadlift. So you have 3 chances to basically increase the weight and try to get hit a goal.
Right.
And sometimes you surprise yourself.
Yes.
And you do a lot more than you expect.
That's so exciting. So you have a big relationship with Grace Outreach too.
Yes.
Can you talk about that?
I started Grace Outreach through the college prep program. At that time, college was, it was hard getting into college because of financial aid. So I started Grace Outreach, the college prep program, where I had a stipend to start my college process. And that's what I thought was going to happen. But at the end of my term there, I was offered a job that I couldn't resist taking. And participated in Iron Maidens, also helped my sister in terms of scholarship. Right now, Grace Outreach, through the scholarship, is paying 80% of her tuition to go to college, and is for undocumented students. So as of right now, it's something special to me because it's helping my sister, keep getting her education, and other students who are unfortunate when it comes to financial aid.
Yeah. Well, it's been great to meet all of you, and this has been really fun to watch what you're doing and to hear about the start of this. So thank you very, very much for doing this.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate it. Thank you. So that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed having this visit at CrossFit SoBro and learning all about Grace Outreach and their wonderful and inventive fundraiser. If you missed any part of this or want to see any of our other shows, just go to BronxNet TV and look for Mission BX. And I'll be back next month to look at some other wonderful nonprofits doing great work here in the Bronx.